Hi, welcome back. This is DK, coming back with something else today. I've said this in previous videos that I recently moved to Michigan. Now it's not recent anymore, it's about 8 months now. I moved to Michigan last August from California, and I never got to set up my room. Like my room with a spray booth, work table for Gunplas and everything. That's why the video quality was little and I haven't done really detailing the Gunplas yet. Like the usual Gunpla nerd, even though I'm not making any, I'm still buying stuff. Like I recently purchased the MGSD, the Gundam Wing, and also bought the GQX, the main Gunpla. I have all the boxes sitting in my room, just haven't been making it yet. Now the next problem is we recently purchased a house and we are doing lots of work on it, like almost gutting out the whole place. And meanwhile, we're also changing on the old kitchen to new kitchen. I'll do a full video on that later if it comes. But the cabinetry was a big issue. Like on the first floor, I have a main kitchen. On the basement, I have a little tiny kitchen. But I also have a vanities, a cabinets, and a restroom and living room. So going back about 1 month, like we've been ideating how to make our kitchen, what kind of feeling we should go, what kind of touch we should do, what kind of accessories we should get. So we've been getting lots of quotes from cabinet stores online and offline. And we just brought this board to them to get some ideas of how much they would cost, how long they would take, and everything. And surprisingly, things were really expensive. I think the 17K is the lowest one I got. I got 19K, 17K. I also have 24K. There was something that I didn't show that cost as much as like 40K for this kitchen. Every store did a similar design to this, because this is my kitchen layout. Island, L shape. It was just too much, it didn't feel like it should cost that much. Maybe it should, but I just felt it was too much. So I thought of something that any Gunpla hobbyist would do, probably, maybe not. I decided to make my own cabinets for everything, for kitchen 1, kitchen 2, bathroom vanities, living room cabinets. Anything requires wood, I will make my own. So I needed to make everything official. The next day I went out and bought the best tool, the Festool stuff. I went to a local lumber yard and bought some woods. So I already spent about 5K on tools and 2K on woods. I ended up spending about 1.5K more on woods after all the calculation, and about $2,000 on parts for the cabinets like hinges, undermounts, the pocket door, everything that needs to operate them mechanically. All those cost about $2,000 from cabinetparts.com. So including every shipping and handling, I think I spent about $6,000 on all the material cost. And I also ended up getting a Domino's. It's usually $1,200, but it was on sale for 100-year special for 1,000. And I heard so many good things about this, and I spent this much already anyway. What's another 1,000 here, right? Yeah, I got it. And to be honest, I might sound like I'm bragging about like $6,000 worth of tools that I just bought, but I'm not bragging at all. Like, think about it. The cheapest quote I got so far was at 18K, $17,854. Cheapest with the particle boards. And this was the cheapest one. There was 20, 30, even 40K quotes for this kind of kitchen. Every kitchen looked alike, but whatever they quoted, I had to pay for it. I guess this could be somewhat of an excuse to get a good tool for myself to make my wife a good kitchen, but whatever works. I'm still spending less money than cheapest quote I got so far. And this channel is not going to be a woodworking channel. This will be my hobby channel. Gunpla will be the main force, I hope, Once I get my room set up, I want to try a different coloring technique, different making technique. I also want to start doing some dioramas too. So those will be my main thing. But until I get my station ready, woodworking will be part of this channel. And since I'm adding some woodworking flavor to this channel, I'm also changing my logo to this one. Nothing much, I just added a chisel on the bottom. So I do know how to draw technical drawings because I have a background in architecture, so I know how to draw plan view, side view and stuff. Initially my plan was to make a garage cabinet, so I started sketching a lot. But I decided that was just waste of money because that alone would have cost like $2,000 in material cost. So I just started playing with fest tools that I got. Those aluminum plate alone cost like $150, but this extractor vacuum is like God once I started using it. This was just different level. They cut different, their accuracy was different, and there was no dust when I was using fest tool. I know how to use tools because I studied architecture. They make a lot of like woodworking models, so I know how to use table saw, like miter saw and stuff. But I never used it professionally making furniture for it. This time will be my first time. I actually went to plywood local lumberyard. I didn't end up using the Home Depot or Lowe's because after research, apparently those local lumberyards has much more better quality at a similar price, and even on some of the plywood, the lumberyard costed less. The only problem was my local one did not do the delivery, so I had to rent a truck and get them myself. So everything you see now is new to me. Like I'm reading manual, I'm watching YouTube as I'm going. Like for instance, this is a LR32 system from Festool. It's like a cabinet homemaking system, which is really accurate. They use 32mm metric system. I just honestly had no idea how to control this accurate system. Now I know kind of. So when I actually do my cabinets, I'll know, but at least I'm making the holes at exact 32mm apart, which is standard for most of the cabinet, even in the US. Look at that, they look so aligned. But to be honest, since I didn't use the LR32 system as it was supposed to be, they might be off by a millimeter, but this is a practice cabinet that I'm trying to make for the first time in my life, just to test out all the tools before I get into the real cabinetry. I'm making a 24-inch cabinet box, just testing out everything, but maybe I should have used something smaller without wasting too much wood, the actual wood that I bought. But oh well, just trying to get used to the tools that I got. $6,000 tools. So I did some basic cutting and routing on the day 1. Day 2, I'm just trying to put them together into a box. They were coming together. I'm not using any glue, I'm just using screws and nails at this point. And it turned out pretty okay. It looked like a cabinet without any drawers. But I did make a little mistake here. The back panel stood up about 1/4 inch higher than it's supposed to be. I ended up flat routing it out, but it worked. And rest of day 2 was pretty simple. I just cut all the bottom piece for the drawer because my goal was to start with the drawers because I gotta make like 35 to 40 drawers for this kitchen, which is a lot, I know. And I did. It looks like IKEA, you know, all the panels for your drawer bottoms. Here you go. Fresh new day, day 3. Now I'm cutting the side wall for all the drawers, which will be mostly 6 inches high, some will be 8 inches high, some thinner ones will be 3.5 to 4 inches high, but they're just various different drawer heights. And this one is a MFT table from Festools. It comes with that shorter aluminum straight edge thingy. Once you set this up, it just makes things efficient. And I'm not sure if anyone will be asking, but I use the Cut List Optimizer tool. The app is available in iOS and web form. It looks something like this. Might look a little complicated, but it's not really. You just have to figure out the pieces you need to cut, and it will just fit together everything in a sheet that you have. Mine will be 30 by 60. It's a 5 by 5 plywood sheet that I bought from the plywood store. This one was 5 by 5, but it also works with 4 by 8 sheets, whatever size sheet you have. The hard part is just calculating the left part, what size pieces you really need. Again, I'm not master at this, and I don't even know how this cabinet's gonna look, but if anyone needs to know how to use this, I'll make a separate video on this. And this is all the pieces of the drawer. I mean sidewall of the drawer. I cut the bottom yesterday. It was like when I first started making the Gunpla video, like how do I know which piece is which? This time I'm using a convex oval edge router bit to make some little soft contour on the side wall of the drawers, not front and back. Because front, it will be attached to the front face, and back, you'll almost never see the back pieces. So I'm giving this softer curve on left and right of the drawer. I never owned a routing table. I routed something before, but nothing on a table like this. But whatever. It was the constant push, the constant speed of pushing the material was the key to routing or using the router table. Because if I was on one place for too long, it made a burn mark, which was ugly. Now I'm making a little, not little, 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch thick dado on the side panel where the bottom piece of the drawer will sit. So it's poking up 1/4 inch and it's away from the fence by 1/2 inch. But this fence and this router table is like the cheapest I can find. The dust was flying everywhere. This fence caused me some issue because left one was adjustable because I guess sometimes people want a different depth on the left side versus right side. I have no clue why, but that depth difference was causing me some issue, so I had to take some time to adjust them. Maybe this part of dadoing the side wall would have been much better with the table saw, but I don't have a dado blade for the table saw, or I don't want to go multiple times to get the 1/2 inch right. So I ended up using the 1/2 inch bit, the routing bit, but this was mess. Look at all the dust. This made a mess to my shop. You don't really see it because it's all happening towards the left side of the screen, not the right side of the screen. But you can tell, all those sawdust is just flying everywhere. At least the second part of routing was much easier than the first one because making the convex was outside where you will see. So those burn marks matter. But this one is hidden tucked away anyway, so I just had to go through with it. But a lot of them. I mean, 40 drawer means 80 sidewalls, right? Because you have 2 per drawers. Towards the end, I think I was almost happy with the result. I still don't know if I'm doing everything correctly, but hopefully I am. I will be worrying about all my drawings and measurements until I see my cabinets up and running. But until then, there's nothing I can do. I can just work and hopefully they fit perfectly. And next time I'm here, I will be assembling these with a little bit of glue and some pocket holes. I might even use the dominoes to do some decoration on the side panel. Thanks for watching the video all the way through. See you next time. Peace.